Well, I was born into a prosperous and charitable family in China. The prosperity was lost when the communists came and we left, but a charitable heart we carried with us. When I hit Central Florida in 1982, one of the first persons I met was Mayor Bill Frederick.
I've known Nelson at least 30 years. I don't remember the exact time that we first met, but it's been at least that long.
And what I found out is that Mayor Bill Frederick wanted to have a sister city in China. I said, what if I can get him a city in China to be a sister city? And by 1985, we took a trip to China to visit Guilin.
And we're fortunate enough to have one with the city of Guilin, which is China's most beautiful city. And it's one of the most important things that I believe that certainly we did during my 12 years as mayor.
While we were in Guilin, Mayor Bill saw a beautiful one-story pagoda in an island in a lake as we drove back to the hotel. I said, Nelson, can you get me one of that? It took me 3 years to get that for him.
And it's here today, and if anyone's not seen that, they really should go down and enjoy it. It's a beautiful, beautiful structure that commemorates next year our 30th anniversary of our sister city relationship with China.
Then on, I just met more and more people, and I saw more and more needs, whether it is needs in the United Way. United Way help everybody, but they have no home of their own.
I've known Nelson since before I came to the United Way. I've known him about 10 years. I find his philanthropy to be actually awe-inspiring. A lot of people talk about things. Nelson does those things. In the case of the United Way, we were in need of a permanent home 12 years ago or more.
Eventually, we have a center, a home for Heart of Florida United Way. But meanwhile, I have been working with UCF.
Well, I've known Nelson for the full 22 plus years that I've been here at University of Central Florida in Orlando. Nelson has been a friend of every president of UCF, and he's retained a strong interest in the university and has tried to see that it prospers.
When I came to Central Florida, I was invited to join the board of the Orlando Science Center, and eventually Sir Fred and we started the science competition.
I think one of the best things that Nelson has done in affiliation with the Science Center is the science competition. We call it the Dr. Nelson Ying Science Competition. And Nelson really takes such a great pride and interest in these students. He advises them, he becomes a mentor, he helps them with the research, guides them, and that's really what it's all about. I think through Nelson, he's really creating these future stars and these kids who are going to go on to change the world.
The happiness is seeing the smiles on the science winners' face and listening to them telling me about what they want to do in the future. I see a better world. And for that, it makes me happy. What will my parents say or feel if they could see me? Well, I'm going to take one step backward. This year, 2014, would have been my father's 100th birthday. And I think it's so nice that on his 100th birthday, I'm getting an award, a Lifetime Achievement Award. And I can say to my father, he'll say, listen, Dad, you didn't really have to worry too much. I turned out okay.
I think at the core of Nelson is a very loving, giving spirit and a determination and a passion to make this world a better place for everybody. He's devoted his life to making change, and the effects of that are rippling out. I think it's worldwide at this point in terms of the students and kids that he's influenced, and then their work continuing. So I'm proud of him, and Nelson, continue creating those stars.
Nelson is richly deserving of the Lifetime Achievement Award for philanthropy. He's a very enlightened fellow in the way he looks at opportunities to make investment in the betterment of society, and is a really generous supporter of good causes. It's a well-deserved honor. Congratulations, Nelson. You richly deserve this award, and I'm so glad to see you receive it.
Nelson, let me take this chance to say thank you for our more than 30 years of friendship, for the wonderful things that you've done for our city, and for the many things that you've done for me personally. I really appreciate it, and I love you as a friend, and wish you Godspeed and a long and healthy life. Thanks again.
He is what everybody thinks he is. He's this caring human being, but who is going to enjoy life, and he does that in part by making the lives of others better. And if you're talking about lifetime achievement, there's a guy whose lifetime has really meant something. Nelson, I am proud to go to work every day at the Dr. Nelson Ying Center. Because of your generosity, the United Way is able to help this community in many, many ways. And I am even more proud to be your friend. Congratulations.